finally, you know, I know that the last couple of days there's been just an unrelenting attack on Senator McCain's choice of government payroll. I've never quite seen an attack like that, even by New York City standards. It's in the gutter, and it's below the standards of journalism. The standards of journalism. They're written somewhere. I haven't seen them in a while. But just think about this. We've got our ticket in the right order, right? We've got at the top of the ticket one of the most experienced candidates for president in the last 100 years. From executive experience in the military, to being not just a senator, not just another senator, but a leader of the Senate, whose name is on some of the most important legislation, controversial or not, of the last 20 to 30 years, because he led it through the Senate. We've got the president at the top of the ticket who's worked in a bipartisan way with Democrats to get things done. Then we've got number 2 on the ticket, an enormously effective leader, new generation, younger, hope for the future, someone who has been a mayor. Sorry, Senator Obama, if the city's not big enough for you. I mean, I know that they're probably part of that group of people that clings to religion and guns. Small town America. Oh, gee. You don't study about them at Harvard, I guess. No, but don't you get that impression? I mean, she was mayor for 8 years of a city. I'll tell you one thing. When I was mayor of New York, sometimes I felt like I was mayor of a small town. Every place I went. How come the garbage wasn't collected? What do you mean? I got that tree outside my house. It's been sitting there for 2 weeks and you reformed the city? Some reform, pal. Being mayor means you got to reform. He got reelected because he actually did reform. But you know, she's also governor of a very important state. And she's a governor that's already done more than most governors do in 4 or 8 years. She's lowered taxes. Thanks a lot. More important, she's reduced government spending by almost 20%. She's done exactly what the prescription is for being an effective governor. She came in, and right away she made the tough decisions. That's when you have to make it. First 6 months, first year. That's how I turned around New York City. I made all the tough decisions. In the first 6 months. She appropriately took on oil companies. She faced up to corrupt and unethical politicians, Democrat and Republican, and drove them out. And what else could she do in that period of time? It's one of the reasons she's considered one of the most effective governors of the country, Republican or Democrat. And she is actually the most popular governor of the country in her state. So this is an enormously effective member of the next generation, shown great leadership ability, particularly in an area where we needed domestic policy, running a state, dealing with energy independence. They got the whole thing kind of reversed. On the top of the ticket, they got somebody who is the least experienced candidate for president in 100 years. Never run anything. City, state, military unit, nothing. He was a community organizer. What do they do? Try to figure that out. Community organizer. Then he was in the Chicago legislature. No, Illinois legislature. From the Chicago machine, that's right. I got that guy. They've got the experience at the bottom of the ticket. Joe Biden. Now, Joe's got a lot of experience. Joe will tell you about his experience. Joe has a great deal of experience talking, talking, she's got experience doing. So I don't know, that comparison, talking, as opposed to doing, I go with doing. And then when Joe gets a chance to vote, when he gets a chance to take positions, he is consistent. He's consistently wrong. Opposed Ronald Reagan in his approach to the Soviet Union. Hung on to détente before, long after everyone else had realized that it wasn't working. Major critic of Ronald Reagan. Totally wrong about the outcome of the Cold War. Totally wrong about it. He voted against the Persian Gulf War. When Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Totally wrong, again. And he did support the war in Iraq until it became unpopular. And then he opposed the surge. Totally wrong. And if it were up to Joe Biden, he would have split Iraq into 3 countries. 3 separate countries. Totally oblivious to what that's done to Pakistan and India for the last 50 years. Totally oblivious to the fact that those would have been 3 countries that probably be at war with each other for the next 10 years. So Joe's got a record, and I respect it. I just have to tell you, respectfully, it's a record where he has just about always been wrong on the historic issues that face our country. So let's go with young leadership, new leadership. Let's see if we can't give someone a chance. And let's start treating Sarah Palin, you know, the same way we would if she were a Democratic woman on a ticket. Where are the liberal feminist groups? Where are they? I think they're really liberal groups. Take the second part out. They're liberal. They are, because how do you ask, how do you raise questions like this? Does Sarah Palin have the time to be a mother and a vice president? Well, I don't know. Does Barack Obama have the time to be a father and a president? John McCain. I never remember that question being asked. Now, you know, it seemed to me that those liberal feminist groups would find what's being done to her, Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative, offensive, way beyond what's been done in the past. And I think we've got to say back to the media that we're just not going to take it. We're not going to stand for it. We're not going to allow them to do this. If they want to question her on positions and policies, every right to do it. If they want to question what she did as governor and the things she's done and the direction she's taken the state, every right to do it. But if they're going to do this kind of a vicious attack, questions about her family that in all decency should be off limits. What do her children have anything to do with what kind of vice president she's going to make? I mean, what does anybody's children have to do with that? And maybe, just maybe, at some point the media can draw a line called decency and stick to it.